Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Spirit, and this is my channel. The series is called Deleted Ancestral History, and this is on races. Okay? May the words of my mouth, meditation of my soul be accepted in thine own sight. O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. I plead the blood. I hope y'all enjoy this because this is factual. Unfortunately, let's see here. So, I have my notes here. Okay, let me get into them. Okay, this is a question I put to myself before I start the research. Racial Integrity Act document in Virginia and documents found of this sort on the books and are, are there on the books in other states in the U.S. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924 was a Virginia law that enforced racial segregation by prohibiting interracial marriage and mandating racial qualifications on birth and marriage certificates. It was part of a broader set of eugenics based laws aimed at maintaining racial purity. That's what eugenics is. Okay, other similar laws uh, that came about because of this. While Virginia's Racial Integrity Act is one of the most well known, other states also enacted similar laws during the early 20th century. Indiana enacted the first eugenics based sterilization. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Looking for something. I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have to go get me something to eat. Okay. Eugenics enacted the first eugenics based sterilization law in 1907. California passed the Sterilization Act of 1909, leading to forced sterilizations of thousands of individuals deemed unfit, as they said. North Carolina implemented sterilization laws and racial integrity statutes similar to Virginia's. Connecticut enacted sterilization laws and racial classification re- uh, requirements. These laws was part of a broader eugenics movement in the United States, which sought to control reproduction to improve the genetic quality of the population. And now a lot of Europeans are realizing that the purity of the race and the improvement was us. the people of color. And they realized that after seeing their children and realizing that everything was better after they decided, and the truth was that people of color are better. Not everybody, they have not said that, but eventually they will. Okay, many of these laws was eventually overturned or repealed, but their impact on affected communities has been long lasting. Of course it has. And everything else you did. Okay, let's see. To continue, 1907 Indiana eugenics law is widely regarded as the first eugenics sterilization legislation passed in the world. Here are some of the facts. Enactment. The law was signed by Governor J. Frank Henley in 1907. The scope of it mandated the involuntary sterilization of confirmed criminals, idiots, imbeciles, and rapists. Who decides this? Repealed. The law was repealed in 1974 by Governor Otis R. Bourne. The impact on it, approximately 2,500 people in state custody were sterilized under this law. The origins and beliefs, beliefs came about in the late 1800s. Indiana authorities believed that criminality, mental problems, and pauperism were hereditary. Influential figures like Harriet Foster and Hotspur McCulloch contributed to the belief in the hereditary degeneracy. Uh, let's see, McCulloch's study of the tribe of Ishmael claimed that mental weakness and pauperism stem from genetics. Initial halt. Sterilization war halted in 1909 by Governor Barker. Uh, Legal challenges. The Indiana Supreme Court ruled the 1907 law unconstitutional in 1921, citing denial of due process under the 14th Amendment. Reinstatement. A revised law was implemented in 1927, adding court appeals. Final appeal. The law was finally repealed in 1974, and related restrictive marriage laws was were uh, was repealed by 1977. The law is a significant part of the history of eugenics in the United States and has had lasting implications on public health and reproductive rights. The Carolina Sterilization Act of 1909, also known as the Asexualization Act, was a sexual was a significant piece of legislation in the history of eugenics in the United States. Eugenics movement. The act was part of the broader eugenics movement, which aimed to improve the genetic quality of the population by preventing those deemed unfit from reproduction. Okay, now this will show you, and there's probably more documents on this. Once they got what they wanted and needed, uh, they wanted to get rid of us. So the 1%ers came up with laws. So our ancestors would not reproduce. And like I had said in the intro, if they had not brought my ancestors over, they would not have these problems. They should have, uh, they could have apprenticeships, uh, went to college, went to school, learned different things the same way our ancestors did. But they didn't do that. They wanted to do this and other things. We built the United States. Our ancestors did. Not the Europeans, but people of color. And when you're looking at a stoplight or a building or a car or anything, remember that, especially if you are a person of color, that your ancestors invented that or built that, not Europeans, but our people of color. Thank you. And take care of yourself and each other. And be careful during the holidays. So I will say namaste. Thank you. And share this.